which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For the flowers that bloom at our feet, for the tender grass so fresh, so sweet, for the song of birds and hum of bees, for all things fair where we hear and see. Father in heaven, we thank you. For blue of stream and blue of sky, for pleasant shades of branches high, for fragrant air and cool breeze, for beauty of the blooming trees. Father in heaven, we thank you. Amen.
Amen.
Roll call, please. Ms. Lees? Here. Mr. Beck?
Here.
Mr. Bryan?
Here.
I move approval of the agenda.
I move to amend the agenda before approval.
Okay.
I'd like to revisit Resolution G 2024-20 that we passed at our last meeting.
Do you want to put that under old business?
Yes, please.
Okay. I move to approve the agenda
As modified.
as modified. Thank you.
Second.
Roll call. Ms. Lees? Aye. Mr. Beck?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
I move approval of minutes, regular meeting, February 13th, 2024.
Second.
Roll call. Ms. Lees? Aye. Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
Fiscal officers report? Okay, in our checking account balance as of March 1st, 2024, we have $5,941,271.07. In our HRA account, we have $35,441.24. In our investment account at Fifth Third, we have $8,162,874.34. Our revenue to date is $319,374.43. Our appropriations to date, expenditures to date is $2,032,202.52. Our payments that we made in February was $700,563.03. Under major fund balances, under the general fund, we have $2,913,272.21. Under the park levy fund, we have $150,752.12. Under the Rossi Park levy, we have $291,888.71. Under the police levy, we have $905,500.28. Under the fire levy, we have $452,192.41. In the road levy fund, we have $185,341.91. Under the safety services levy, we have $3,506,455.96. In the ARP fund, we have $523,950.86. And under the tax increment financing fund, we have $2,684,448.77 for a grand total of $13,875,868.58. Any questions, discussion? Okay. I move to accept the fiscal officer's report.
Second.
Roll call. Ms. Lees? Aye. Mr. Beck?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
We don't have any presentations. I move to open a public hearing regarding the purpose of text amendments to section 62.1, 66.1, 70.1, 74.1, 78.1, 82.1, and 92.1, using regulations in sections 64.4, 68.4, 72.4, 76.4, 80.4, 84.4, and 94.4-1 and 94-4-2, intensity of use for residential district of Symmes Township zoning resolution.
Second.
Okay. Brian?
Good evening, Brian Snyder, Hamilton County Planning and Development. You should have a copy of the staff report that we prepared for this case. This was a set of text amendments that was initiated by the board. It proceeded through the zone change process, as text amendments are required to do in Ohio. It was transmitted to the Hamilton County Regional Planning Commission. It went to the Symmes Township Zoning Commission, and now it is before you again for final decision. You have the authority to approve, modify, or deny the text amendments. The text amendments they include a number of sections. I'm not going to read them all again. The first, they're basically broken into two concepts, two changes. The first of which is to change all of the single-family zoning sections to increase the setback for agricultural uses on lots less than 5 acres from 60 feet to 100 feet. Staff reviewed that recommendation, supported that recommendation 100%. The Planning Commission recommended approval of that as written, as did the Zoning Commission, both with unanimous recommendations. So I'm not going to go any further into that unless you have any questions. The second set of I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Are people that are 60 feet setback now, are they grandfathered when
Yes.
this change goes in?
Yes, they are.
Thank you.
The second set of amendments was aimed at eliminating or limiting the use of panhandle lots in Symmes Township. Currently, a panhandle lot is a lot that is behind lots that front on a public street. Generally, if you think of a pan and then you think of the handle as being the part that touches the roadway, they're generally 25 to 20 feet wide strips of land that connect rear lots to the street. Generally private driveways that run between houses and go back and service houses that are built behind the houses that front directly on the streets. Those are currently regulated by the Hamilton County subdivision rules and regulations. All lot design currently is handled under that. The Ohio Revised Code gives the authority for subdivision to the Hamilton County Planning Commission for all the unincorporated areas, regardless of who has zoning jurisdiction. So currently the Hamilton County subdivision rules and the regulations allow for lots to be created in the rear of other lots up to a maximum of 5 lots with a minimum required frontage of 20 feet. And if you have up to 5 lots, you have to have 30 feet of frontage. So that allows you to have 6 5-foot or 5 6-foot panhandles in a 30-foot area, or you could just have one lot that has a 20-foot minimum panhandle area. If you look on a map of Symmes Township, there are a number of them. They're all over the place. They're typically used in areas with limited depth. It's longer than they want the yard to be, but it's not big enough for them to put in a public street, so they generally will create a couple of lots in the back and service it through a private driveway. Then those generally have panhandles that provide those lots with legal frontage to the street. That's the way it's been forever. This set of text amendments was intended to eliminate the use of panhandles by requiring all the lots to be the minimum width at the roadway. Staff reviewed that. We found a number of issues with that. You can't have a lot at the minimum lot width on a curvilinear street or a cul-de-sac. Those are generally lots that get narrower as a street because you're going around a cul-de-sac. They get to the width of the required zoning code at the building line generally. There were some unintended consequences to the way that was initiated and written. I reviewed all the other townships. I can't find another township zoning code that eliminated or eliminates the use of panhandles completely. The best I could come up with was Anderson Township. They had issues with tear downs and panhandle lots, and so they modified their code to require every panhandle to have 20 feet of frontage. Instead of allowing 5 lots to be within a 30-foot area, every lot would have to have 20 feet of their own frontage. And then the lot area would have to be 200% of the minimum size in the zoning district. So you'd have to have a lot twice as big, and you would have to have a panhandle of 20 feet just for your own lot. What that does is eliminates the ability to do 2 or 3 lots, typically in the back of an existing house, where you have a house that has a little bit wider lot than the zoning code requires. They tear the house down and build a new house on the front, create 2 lots in the back, and build 2 houses in the back. Anderson seems to feel like this has worked to eliminate that for the most part, without eliminating completely the ability to use properties that are in the rear with limited frontage on public streets. Staff found that was a good compromise and recommended approval of that amendment rather than the amendments to all the individual sections as initiated. There's an attachment to the staff report that explains all of that, including the language that's recommended, and that was presented to the Planning Commission and the Zoning Commission and was recommended for approval as written unanimously from both boards. So that is all I have. If you haven't answered any questions.
Clear.
All right.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you very much.
Does anybody want to speak on this topic? Anybody want to talk about the text amendments and so on? No one's here for that? Okay, we don't need to
Close it.
discuss it.
We have to
Yeah,
close it.
I want to make sure. Okay, I move to close the public hearing regarding the text amendments at 7:10.
Second.
Roll call?
Ms. Blees? Aye. Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
I move approval of disbursements warrant number 84203 to 84334 and voucher 17 to 115 totaling $700,563.03.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Ms. Lees? Aye. Mr. Beck?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Reports. Law Director.
Thank you. No report tonight.
Okay. Police? Mike?
Just real quick, as our guys have started to get used to the flock system and kind of all of its capabilities, just want to highlight a success we had recently in Symmes Township. So on the 14th, the camera at Gregory and Fields Erdel hit on a stolen vehicle around 8:30. Our guys were alerted to it, and Deputy Dill, who was running one of the Symmes cars, and Deputy Smith, who was running the Northern Sycamore car, were able to get that car stopped a few minutes later just south of Fields Erdel on Montgomery Road. The car was confirmed stolen out of Delhi that night. They were able to arrest the driver, and then the passenger was also arrested for possession of crack cocaine and a crack pipe. So without those cameras, we never know that car's, unless we just happen to be behind it. So
Right.
it's really working out to be an incredible tool, and we're happy that you guys were able to get on board.
Yeah, thank you.
Great
That's
story.
awesome. Fire?
Thank you, trustees. Just a couple items of note. The township residents who wish to be part of the township safety program this summer, there are only about 15 seats left in that program. That's June 10th at the Symmes Township Safety Center, the summer program that the fire department, police, sheriff's office put on there. So if any of the residents are still interested in getting their children in that safety camp, they should get online and get them registered because we're almost full. Also, the new township ambulance chassis has finally arrived in Columbus at the manufacturer. So we have a meeting with them next month to go over the final engineering. So we're still looking close to the end of this year before we'll actually receive it, but it at least is moving forward for change. So-
It's in Ohio.
Yeah, it's in Ohio.
Good.
anyway.
That's great.
So thank you.
This is another big one?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, Director of Public Works, Bill's not here. Committees, Finance and Audit Committee, and Bicentennial Committee. Kim, are you covering that? Or no?
I was going to say Jeff's here to do the bicentennial.
Okay.
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to update you on the activities of the Symmes Township Bicentennial Committee and our committee's accomplishments to date. As you likely know, the township has 11 activities celebrating our bicentennial this year, usually one or two a month, interspersed across the township's parks and covering just about every conceivable type of community event. Our first function will be scheduled for this month on March 23rd, which will be the Great Symmes Egg Hunt, starting at 11:30 at Home of the Brave Park. This event will be sponsored by our friends at Prince of Peace Church. While I think an egg hunt is self-explanatory, we will be having several age categories with prizes. I know it's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope that many of you can attend and show your support for this annual event. In April, we will be hosting the Youth Fishing Derby at Symmes Park. More details will follow. But I did want to let you know that registration is going to be limited, and advanced registration is strongly encouraged, and details can be found on the township's website.
I just would add, I think we've had 10 people register already.
All right,
So that's pretty
awesome.
early.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Right.
The trophies are in; they look spectacular, and I think everyone's gonna have a great time.
Yeah, that's fun.
Is this going to be at two different locations or just one?
It's gonna just be at Symmes Park in
Okay.
that front.
Okay, so we're not using the pond or lake at Home of the Brave?
At home. No, I think
Okay.
just, logistically, it would be There will be a little kiddie pool for the tots to go fishing, that kind of thing, but it's all going to be right around there.
That's April 20th.
That is on April 20th.
Yes, good.
Yes. From a fundraising perspective, we are deep in the throes of reaching out to businesses in the community, with many of the premier businesses stepping up to voice their support. As of today, we've raised over $40,750 from business leaders, including GE Credit Union, the Loveland Symmes Firefighters Association, thank you, McCluskey Chevrolet, Town Properties, which just committed today, and all those are silver sponsors, and Silver Spring House, Rumpke, Downlight, and Bishop's Quarter in Loveland are all committed as bronze sponsors right now. We're working with a lot of other organizations, companies, to hopefully fill out the remainder of the sponsorships. While I'm thrilled with the support we've received from the community, I would like to encourage each of you to reach out to business leaders that you know and ask them to continue to support our community through this endeavor. We have opportunities for sponsorship and support ranging from $50 for one of these handy dandy decals to $25,000 as a presenting sponsor. So I think there's something literally for all types of businesses to show their support at any level. Finally, I'd like to give a shout out to our committee members who are supporting this endeavor, including Kim, Luann, Carola, Cindy, Joel, Julie, Justin, Maggie, and Russ. Of course, Kim, Luann, and Kelly in the township office have all been fabulous working with us to keep things organized, and Luann is running our egg hunt, so special kudos to her this month. And finally, of course, we welcome all comers to our meeting, so if anyone happens to be watching this, or any of you want to join in our fun activities, please either call the office or look on the township website for upcoming meeting dates and times. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
I think you guys are doing a
Thank you,
great
Jeff.
job.
Thanks.
Unbelievable.
You're working very hard.
Yes.
There's a lot of meetings because we're trying to do this in a very short amount of time, but I really appreciate everybody's involvement and support, and it's really been actually a lot of fun.
Jeff, just off the cuff, do you have any updates looking ahead to the Bicentennial Blast?
So I can tell you right now we have 4 bands that are scheduled for the Bicentennial Blast. So they'll be starting at 12 noon and continuing till 10 p.m. almost straight through. We also have the Cincinnati Circus, which is a national touring circus. They actually go around all over the country, and they're going to be doing 3 or 4 shows on their own stage. So that's going to be really exciting and spectacular. At 10 p.m. we will have a 35-minute fireworks and drone show put on by Rozzie's Famous Fireworks. And of course, we have, I think, 17 food trucks that are all already on board for providing refreshments. The Little Miami River Chamber Alliance is on board to provide alcoholic beverages. And you guys are all on the hook for handing out little doodads and knickknacks over the course of the day, so bring your sunscreen.
Okay. And that is July 20th.
That is on
at
July 20th.
Home of the Brave Park.
You got it.
That's exciting.
Yes.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right, thank you.
That's Shane. Thank you. Okay, Finance and Audit Committee.
We met on February 15th to discuss expenditures from 2023. And then we set a new date, I believe, in May, but we're going to have to change the date because it's the same day as the Seven Gables Park dedication.
Okay. Is that it?
Yep.
Okay. Other? There isn't any. Hearings from residents. So if anybody would like to address the board, please feel free to come on up and just give your name and your address, please. Hello.
Hi. My name is Paul Sisk. I'm the church administrator for Sycamore Presbyterian Church. I'm a resident of Hamilton Township and quite involved in the trustee work there, so I want to express my appreciation for your services here. I rise to thank you for your partnership with Sycamore Presbyterian Church. We have a long history of partnering in this community. You probably recall, and in fact, you already mentioned your long association with Reverend Cowsbeak.
Oh, yeah.
He was a great lover of the township and served 42 years as pastor at Sycamore Church. And he went to glory this past year and left quite a legacy. He made it a priority to be involved in the activities and events of the township. And as the new staff liaison with Sycamore Presbyterian to the township, I'm looking forward to continuing our service and developing even stronger ties. We had a very productive meeting with Kim and the folks on the community action team within the church. That was in the last few weeks, I believe. And so there are a lot of things that you're doing, a lot of things that we're trying to do as well. We want to be an active partner, and we want to make sure that folks who are looking for a church home, a place where they can be loved and can also serve, that Sycamore might be a choice for them. So thank you very much for your service and your leadership, and look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you very much. Anyone else?
A little hard act to follow there. Barbara Wilson from Camp Dennison. I had asked for a couple of updates on some things and have already gotten those, so that's wonderful. I want to thank the township for already taking the sign down for the history, the Hamilton County signs that are out here, the same as here. It's been taken down and put back up, and it looks wonderful. You can read it now. So it's always a nice thing to see one more step closer to getting that Cannon area spruced up. So thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barb.
Jeff, do
And
you
thanks
have
for all the
any?
work you do in Camp Dennison.
Working on it.
You do a great job. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask if Jeff had any updates this month on the legal process.
Yeah, I mean, I already let the most important people know. Yeah, I mean, where things stand now is that I think I mentioned last time that we had successfully published the notice that we had to. We got that returned from the court. And at this point, we have to wait 28 days from the time that that was published for anybody to file an answer. We don't anticipate anyone is going to file an answer. So we were supposed to have a report with the court last week, and the judge's clerk emailed me that morning and said, because we haven't gotten past that 28-day wait period, he just canceled that report and set it out for, so the 28 days is up at the end of this month. And once that happens, we'll be able to file the motion for default judgment, and that is what will really get the things rolling to transfer title.
Great.
Good.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else that would like to speak? Okay. Correspondence, see attached. Let's see, events and meetings. Bicentennial Committee meeting Wednesday, March 13th and 27th, 2024 at 7 p.m. at the Administration Building. A trustee special meeting Tuesday, March 19th, 2024 at 6 p.m. at the Administration Building. Zoning Commission meeting Wednesday, March 20th, 24 at 7 p.m. at the Administration Building. Great Easter Egg Hunt Saturday, March 23rd, 2024 at 11 a.m. at Home of the Brave. Board of Zoning Appeals Monday, April 1st, 2024 at 7 p.m. at the Administration Building. Regular trustees meeting Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024 at 7 p.m. at the Administration Building. Old business. I'm going to let you go ahead and make the motion that you wanted to make.
I really wanted to revisit Resolution G 2024-20, which was a resolution authorizing the Township Administrator to enter into an agreement with Stiles & Son to clean out and regrade the detention basin at Seven Gables Park in the amount of $25,644.00.
Okay, I'll second that.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
discussion?
Basically, I found that this is not a necessity that we do this, and I'd like to save the money and use it for, it's coming out of the park fund, and I think we have a lot of other issues in the parks that are going to be on the agenda tonight, and I'd like to see that money, basically put the idea back on the wish list, which is where it was. I don't
Okay.
think it's a necessity.
Was there a reason why we moved it
Well,
up?
I understand it was done to spruce up the park for bicentennial. However, I think if you go in there and grade it all out and so on, and you're not gonna have grass seed for a long time, it's gonna look terrible. And I'd just soon not do it. We'll put it back, put it off until we really need to.
Who recommended this? Was it Bill?
It was on their wish list, but it was put forth to us last month and we approved it. So I had to bring it up in open session because you can't just change anything without voting on it. So
Have we had a discussion with Bill about?
I have.
Became-
I have.
Okay.
Basically, we cut a purchase order for this. However, the vendor is a person that we can work with, and they have the understanding if we were to cancel that purchase order.
Okay, and
I want
Bill
to
is
save
okay
the
with-
money and use it for other things that I think are more necessary.
okay, was Bill okay with that? I mean, did he understand the reasoning behind?
Well, if you remember, I asked him when he was here last month about it, if we could do it, and he said, basically, well, our minutes that we just approved tonight said that they could do it, but they don't want to. But the real reason is we don't have the surveying equipment, I think, to really grade it. We could grade it, but we'd have to have still engineering done and so on to get the right kind of slopes and everything else in there. And if you look at it now, and you know, it's got bulrushes in one little area, I don't think it looks unsightly. So, that's why I wanted to revisit it.
So can I kind of jump in just to help with the procedural stuff here?
Sure.
So that resolution was adopted by the board last month.
Right.
And so what we have right now is a motion, what we typically call a motion to reconsider.
Or rescind.
And, well, first we have to see if the board even wants to reconsider it.
Okay.
So you made a motion to reconsider, there was a second. It would be appropriate to take a vote to see if you would like to, this is just,
To
you're
have a
not,
discussion to rescind
Yes.
it?
Okay. all
Okay,
right.
so roll call for discussion to rescind it. To reconsider it?
this is
To
the motion to reconsider it.
Reconsider. Okay. Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Ms. Lees?
Aye.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
Okay, so that motion passed, so now it's back in front of you.
Okay.
Resolution 20, I think it was,
24.
24.
or
24-20.
-20, I'm sorry.
Oh, it
So,
was
yeah, so
20.
now,
Okay.
based on the discussion that I've heard, I think what you would typically do then is, it is,
Motion to rescind.
well, it's really back in front of you now as if it had not been adopted in the first place.
Okay.
So you can make a motion, what we would typically do is a motion to adopt, get a second, and then you can vote. Yeah, I mean, if your inclination is to defeat it, then you would vote no.
Okay. So I move to approve Resolution G 2024-20. A resolution authorizing Township Administrator to enter into an agreement to clean out and regrade the detention basin at Seven Gables Park.
Okay, I'll second.
Okay.
And then,
And then unless there's more discussion, you can
do
take
we
a
have
roll
any
call.
more discussion?
Well, we need a roll call for that?
You
Well-
will.
Oh, right now?
Not right.
So my two concerns are, we're going to regrade this in the first place because it's muddy. That's what I understood.
It's the only wet area over there right now after the heavy rains and so on is in the bulrushes area.
Okay. So it's not, the muddiness is not really a big issue.
I don't think so. Kim, you know any more?
Cattails only grow in wet areas, and that whole basin is a cattail. So
Okay.
the whole basin is wet.
So my second concern is, besides the mud, is the mosquitoes that come with that.
That's why they need bats.
Right. I don't know.
And I want to make, is
I've
this
not heard
on the
any
front of the park,
complaints.
This is the section back by the basement fence. Which part is it? Which-
Seven Gables
Oh,
Park.
Seven Gables, I'm sorry. I
You
was
know where the
thinking
bulrushes are?
Symmes, because,
Right by the
yeah, there's
restaurant.
cattails, yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
It's a
Yes, I do
detention
know
pond
yeah.
that doesn't detain water.
I got the park wrong.
Okay. Right now, it's not retaining anything. So, I just think that in light of additional expenditures coming in this year for bicentennial and so on and so forth, I think here's a place that we could save some money.
And Bill was okay with that.
And Bill was okay with it. It was on his wish list. It wasn't something we had to do. And it is park dollars, paying for it right now.
And you had a discussion, he understands where you're coming from, right?
Yes, he does.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you bringing this back up for reconsideration. So we go ahead and vote.
Make roll call.
Yep, and remember, what's before you right now is a motion to adopt the resolution.
Correct.
Okay.
Mr. Bryant?
Nay.
Ms. Lees?
No.
Mr. Beck?
No.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, moving on with old business. I move
you, Board.
approval of Resolution G
Thanks for bringing that up.
2024-23, resolution providing for the declaration of nuisance for the property located at 9632 Cimbola, parcel 620-0070-0148, and authorizing all necessary steps and abatements of the nuisance.
Second.
Discussion. So I think everything, majority has been cleaned up, so I don't, would you like to speak?
If you'd like me to, I'd be happy to.
Well,
I mean, I don't necessarily believe you need to, unless you would like to say something.
We did see photos
Yeah.
after you cleaned up.
After you're clean.
I would say that it's early to be assembling the garden beds, but we did go ahead and start that to take care of some things.
It's starting to come up. A lot of things are.
I'm sorry?
A lot of things are starting to come up.
Yeah, they are now,
Yeah.
I
just
think-
in the last few days.
I think you worked really hard.
We did.
Yes.
We did.
And we appreciate that.
Thank you.
So I don't think.
I think,
there's-
looking at the pictures and so on that were provided, I think that you're 90% in abating the situation. Okay, there are still some stonework and so on that maybe could be moved around.
It takes a
But
bigger
I-
chainsaw than we have, so we've got to
But,
figure out how to do that.
Okay, but I appreciate your effort.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I second that. Appreciate it.
And
Thank you.
so, can I ask, I mean, okay, this is like a series of complaints from the same person. What are you going to do with the next one? Because I'm sure there could be one.
Well,
So is there any way that you can protect yourself more? Like, you're saying that she stands, like, last time I think we had the discussion,
Yeah.
that she kind of stands on a corner.
Right.
Is there any way to fence that off so she can't see it?
Well,
I mean, basically.
it would cost us about
That's not the problem.
$1,000 to do the fencing on her corner of the yard that she didn't choose to do when she put her new fence in 2 years ago.
So the fence is hers.
The 6-foot fence is hers.
Okay.
Ours is a 4-foot slatted fence. I talked to the zoning at Hamilton County yesterday and today. One person told me that we could build a lattice structure and it wouldn't be considered a fence as long as it wasn't attached to the fence and so on. And he suggested I talk to Emily, so I talked to Emily this morning, and she's saying any structure like that, because what we thought is do 6-foot posted and do some lattice across it and grow some things on it. And she said that would be a fence, and so it's a $202.80 Symmes Township zoning fee, which is more than we were going to put into the structure.
Right.
So we looked at tall, thin bushes. It's going to take, again, about $1,000 worth of bushes to put in. And there's also water lines or sewage lines that run between the two houses, so that could be a problem with roots. So, you know,
Well,
if you read my letter, you know how I feel about it.
at this point in time, I'd suggest that we just go forward and see
Okay.
what happens.
All right.
Okay?
Right.
We have a resolution on, moved and seconded and so on up for discussion. I think we all know what we're going to do in that case. We'll just deal with that and see what ensues afterwards.
Okay, and I'm sure Luann probably
I
told
And-
really
yeah.
don't know how to handle someone who is persistent
Well, and who won't come and talk to us. Not one time has she come to talk to us, not one time.
But we have a procedure where if a complaint is filed and so on, we have to investigate.
I understand
And
that.
I would think that we'd come and talk with you about it.
All right.
Okay?
Well, we appreciate you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. So we need a roll call.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, okay.
Roll call?
Ms. Lees?
No.
Mr. Bryant?
No.
Mr. Beck?
No.
Okay, new business, discussion concerning uniforms. I just brought this to Kim to talk to Bill, and maybe we could talk to the guys, because right now we're paying for their pants to be dry cleaned and brought back. And I think from talking to other townships and to the park systems, that they've moved more towards jeans for their employees instead of having them wear uniform pants. And it would save us, what did you say, about $6,000, Kim, a year?
For about 4,000.
4,000,
What it's costing us now to launder?
yeah.
Okay.
So who do we have a contract with?
Centos?
Cintas. So they come in, they drop off pants, they take the other pants and they launder them, and then we switch them out.
$50 a week.
So, and I don't know, did you have a discussion with Bill
No, I didn't. I wasn't able to, I forgot all about it.
regarding?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just thought, I was trying to look for ways to save money too. And I just thought of that. So I just threw that out there. I don't know if you want to think about it. We can talk about it more next month. Or I think Kim forgot to talk to Bill. So we might just continue it to next month. But that was kind of my thought process, that
So
I think they
they
prefer,
buy their
they
own-
hate the
they
pants.
buy
I do,
their own-
I did ask them.
They buy their own.
They buy their own jeans.
What
And
about
then
shirts?
No, we buy the shirts because, you know, they
Okay,
have to
but
be a
they
certain
but they
color.
launder
They
them.
launder them, yeah.
So
Yeah, and then,
How did employees feel about this?
well, I think Bill, from discussion I had with Kim, I think Bill likes the pants, but I think, I kind of asked the guys when we did the snowplow, and they hate the pants. So I don't know if we want to have Bill research it further.
is the issue that the pants are too dirty to bring home and throw in their own laundry?
I think there's
Or is it
probably-
just a convenient service?
I think there's probably a swap,
Yeah, they
twice a week
swap-
or something like that?
swap.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit of both,
Yeah.
I would have to say.
I mean, we could buy a washer and dryer and stick it in the Public Works building. It'd be cheaper in the long run.
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
thought
they
they would
have-
be
they have
more,
lockers
I
and
thought they'd be
showers
more
anyway.
comfortable in like jeans, and maybe in summer you can explore some shorts, obviously, if they're
Yeah.
doing something they can't wear shorts in. I just thought it would be nicer for the employees, and we'd save money, that's our goal.
I'm open.
Okay.
I
Can we-
think you really ought to find out how they feel about it.
Right, yeah, can you put that
Yep.
on your
Mhm.
agenda?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I move to accept donations from Loveland Firefighters Association, $5,000 for silver sponsorship, McCluskey Chevrolet, $5,000 for a silver sponsorship, Hoarder Investment, $1,500, Seven Gables Park dedication sponsorship, Prince of Peace Church, $1,500 Easter egg hunt sponsorship, Loveland Lifestyle Magazine, $500 partner sponsorship, Flagel Huber Flagel, $500 partner sponsorship.
Second.
Discussion?
Phil got it.
Thank you.
This is terrific. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
Roll
you very
call?
much.
More to come.
Yeah, thank you. Roll call?
Ms. Lees?
Aye.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
I move approval of Resolution G 2024-24, resolution to amend Section 62.1, 66.1, 70.1, 74.1, 78.1, 82.1, 92.1, use regulations in residential districts and add Section 171.5, additional use height and area regulations and exceptions, and Section 31.3 and 128A, definition of Symmes Township zoning resolution and dispensing with the second reading.
Second.
Our discussion?
So what I did is, after listening to Brian and reading his staff report, I revised our resolution that we initiated back in November. So I left the 60 to 100-foot increase in setbacks for the first series of numbers that you see there for all the use regulations.
Right.
And then I added section 171.5, which is the panhandle lot, about how he said it had to have 20 feet of the right-of-way, and then it was double in size. And then added section 31.3-128A, which is a definition of panhandle lot. So I did change our resolution to coincide with what Brian recommended at the zoning commission and the regional planning commission.
Okay.
And
Yes, both boards recommended to us, I'm sorry.
And that was, there was a unanimous, right?
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Good.
Okay.
All right, any other discussion?
No.
Roll call?
Ms. Lees?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
I move approval of Resolution G 2024-25, authorizing the Township Administrator to purchase recycled tables and benches from Handcrafted Amish for 7 Gables in Hopewell Meadows Park in the amount of $17,810.
Second.
Discussion. So it's tables and benches, nothing else?
Tables, benches, and chairs. So it's picnic tables for the shelter, and then it would be octagon tables that we're gonna put around the playground, and then 2 benches around the playground, and then it would be 2 taller tables with umbrellas with 2 chairs each that we put at Hopewell.
Okay, and this sounds,
Sounds reasonable.
and
I
this
was-
sounds
I was-
great, go ahead.
I was going to say, visiting the new playground, which is half completed, or more than half completed, I should say, there's definitely a need for additional seating. I see all the people really using that, and they're sitting on the turf and wherever they can. So there's not enough locations for the adults to sit watching their children play.
Yeah, I just, this is petty, but do the colors match the playset? I didn't see the chairs.
It's, I've got colors that you can pick from.
Oh,
on this
so we haven't picked the
resolution.
colors
Yeah,
yet?
no, I didn't pick any colors, so you guys can tell me what colors you want.
Okay. I did drive past there the other day, and the parking lot was completely full. Yeah, all right, I'm glad it's being used.
And boy, is it.
Okay, roll call?
Ms. Lees?
Aye.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
I approve Resolution G 2024-26, authorizing the Township Administrator to purchase a new server for all camera traffic storage in the township in the amount of $21,848.30.
Second.
When's the last time we changed the cameras out? Off discussion.
This is a server.
I mean, the service, that's what I'm saying.
I believe the last time we bought it, it was before I got here.
Oh, okay, so it's old.
Yeah.
I thought we did it last year.
Is this,
We bought a server for here, but we
Here,
didn't
okay.
buy one for the safety center.
Okay.
the safety center?
Yeah, so this is a server that's at the safety center that holds all of our camera traffic.
All the parks and so on?
Yep, all the parks
I
and all
thought
of
that
the
stuff was going to the
sheriff.
fire department.
It's stored on our server first, and then it goes to the fire department to be viewed.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Are we increasing capacity?
Yes, this would be a much larger server
Okay,
to handle all the traffic.
okay.
Okay, roll call?
Ms. Lees?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
What fund is that coming out of, Ken?
Safety service levy.
Thank you.
I move approval of Resolution G 2024-27, resolution authorizing the Township Administrator to replace and purchase new security cameras for Stonebridge Park and Mead Historical Preserve in the amount of $24,751.06.
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, how many cameras?
So this is to replace the one camera at Stonebridge and to add another camera at Stonebridge to deal with some of the issues we're having there. And this will give us the capability to zoom in and zoom out, and it'll also give us 360 service now that we don't currently have. And then we need to replace or install a new camera on the bathrooms at Mead so that we can shoot the log cabin and replace the cameras that are in the V pattern up by the house, so it'll give us the same 360 ability. So we can actually get the parking lot and the house and everything.
Are we having more problems with the log cabin? Is that why we're doing it, or?
We've had problems in the past, so now that we have clear vision from the bathrooms to the log cabin because we cleared it, so we're able to see it now.
Okay.
Are we still having issues at Stonebridge Park with the restrooms?
We have not opened them for the season yet, but yes, we had a lot of problems last year.
Right.
Okay. Any other questions? Roll call?
Ms. Lees?
Aye.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
I move approval of Resolution G 2024-28, resolution authorizing the Township Administrator to enter into an agreement with J.K. Mural Corporation to repair and repave the tennis and basketball courts at Seven Gables Park in the amount of $44,215, and play equipment service to purchase 2 portable nets for pickleball in the amount of $5,406.
Second.
Discussion?
Are there 2 separate issues here, 2 separate things? Are we voting on the total aggregate?
Well, if you do one, you need to do both. So we have to repave the courts. You guys had asked us to repave the courts
Yeah,
last
okay.
year, and then when we do that, we were gonna reconfigure the pickleballs,
Yeah, I understand that.
and then we need to buy two portable nets for that.
Okay, and we're going to redo the basketball court there also?
Yes, this is for the tennis and basketball courts.
Okay, it's only half court.
And these things probably should have been done, but we're just getting around to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any other
And
questions?
this includes the painting, striping, and all that?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, roll call?
Ms. Lees?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
I move approval of Resolution G 2024-29, resolution authorizing the Township Administrator to enter an agreement with Hart Seal Coat for the amount of $59,512 to repair and reseal the walking path and parking lot through Home of the Brave Park and portions of the parking lot at Seven Gables, Symmes Park, and Hopewell Meadows Park.
Second.
Discussion?
We never have seal coated over the Brave Park, all of the
Nope.
asphalt that we have over there?
Not according to Bill.
Okay. That's fairly extensive.
Okay, and the
Yes.
walking paths, is the only walking path we're doing is Home of the Brave?
Yes, and then the rest are just parking lots at Seven Gables, Symmes, and Hopewell Meadows Park.
Okay, does this include the section that goes around the lake in the area that we have?
I think Bill
Develop-
told me it's
develop-
all the walking paths at Home of the Brave.
Okay, that area definitely needs it. Needs gravel.
Yeah, well, there's a section in Symmes Park that needs to be redone too, but
Okay.
we can talk
Yes.
about that next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Symmes Park
We've got
is on
enough
here.
expenses.
So you're looking for 59.5 to do what you can do, right? Or is that an estimate to do everything at one time?
Yes, it's an estimate for everything that I have listed on the resolution.
Okay.
So part of it's gonna come out of the Home of the Brave fund, and then the other part's gonna come out of the park fund.
Okay.
And Home of the Brave parking lot's got some pretty good cracks, so
Yeah.
it needs attention.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, roll call?
Ms. Lees?
Aye.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
I move approval of Resolution 2024-30, resolution authorizing the Township Administrator to enter into agreement with River Oak Service LLC for the maintenance of landscaping material in the medians of Montgomery Road in the amount of $25,295.
Second.
Discussion?
This is an annual kind of thing, Kim?
Yeah, so this is for 2 years to maintain all of the medians that we just planted last year.
Right?
So this will be for River Oaks to maintain all of that, water it, and also mow the grass that's in between all
Okay.
the plants.
So approving this gives us 2 years
The 25,000 is per year times
Oh.
2.
for two,
And do they replace anything that dies? Or will that'll be additional?
Well, that's what
cost?
I'm hoping, that because they're
Prevent it.
maintaining it, nothing should die.
Okay.
Okay. Wow.
And this comes out of which fund?
The gas tax fund.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, roll call?
Ms. Lees?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
I move approval of Resolution G 2024-31, resolution authorizing the township administrator to enter into, oh, did I just read that one? I did, didn't
Wanna do
I?
31?
No, it's another one, okay, I'm sorry.
31.
It's the same contractor.
To enter an agreement with River Oak Service LLC for the installation of landscaping material for the remaining medium on Montgomery Road and maintenance of the same and installation of landscaping at the safety center in the amount of $13,340.
Second.
Discussion?
What's our agreement with Montgomery on that particular island?
They supplied us with the trees, but the trees keep dying because
Yes.
nobody's maintaining them. So that's why we had River Oaks come in, and they made the median look a lot like our other median, and this would be to maintain it for 2
Okay, are we
years.
taking the trees out? or-
No, the trees will stay there. We're just going to have,
Until they die.
yeah, we just need somebody to maintain it.
Okay,
Nobody's
but-
maintaining
But there's,
it.
going forward, there's nothing that Montgomery's gonna do to help us?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's what I wanted to know.
Roll call?
Ms. Lees?
Aye.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
I move approval of Resolution 2024-32, resolution authorizing the township administrator to sign an agreement with Environmental Design to paint the exterior of the safety center in the amount of $39,670.
Second.
Discussion? Is this, do we have to do it this year? Is it?
Bill is
Recommending.
recommending that we do. It's going to be paid out of the safety services levy because it's the safety center. But it's 2006 when it was built, so it hasn't been repaid in since.
Okay.
All right, roll call?
Ms. Lees?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
I approve of Resolution G 2024-33, resolution certifying township highway mileage for 2023.
Second.
Discussion?
This is an easy one.
Yeah, how many
Yes.
miles we got?
40.
40.
Even?
No,
It's like
it's,
40.03 or something
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that.
okay.
but it did not change in 2023.
Hasn't changed for a while, has it?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Okay, roll call?
Ms. Lees?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
I move approval of Resolution G 2024-34, resolution authorizing acceptance of street paving bids and awarding the contract to Barrett Paving in the amount of $455,835.
Second.
Discussion?
How many bids did we get?
We got 5 bids?
5?
Is this considered on the high side or you would know?
It was underneath the 10% ceiling.
We generally
That's
have
good.
some feeling for what we're asking to be paid.
Oh, we got 7 bids,
And-
Phil.
Okay.
Okay.
But they beat out
Wow.
Jurgensen by about $1,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Who
tight.
Who paved Calumet? A
What?
couple of years ago, we paved Calumet subdivision.
I think that was J.K. Muir.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want them doing it.
Hmm?
They can do parking lots and things like that, but they messed it up, the whole subdivision. They didn't roll it down to the edge of the concrete curbing. As a result, people coming out of their driveways, the front end hits what's sticking up.
Hmm.
And they said they were gonna come back and grind it off or something, and they never did.
I'll just call them again.
Yeah?
Well, people in the neighborhood are used to it now. You get all their front spoilers scraped.
Okay, roll call?
Ms. Lees?
Aye.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye. We have a list of the streets that are on this contract, right, Cal?
Yes.
It'll be on our website.
They
Can you
should-
tell us what area this is?
It should be, it's going to be the area behind Harper Station, so Heartland,
Okay,
and then it's going to be the area north of Silver Spring House.
got it.
Okay.
Okay, I move approval of Resolution G 2024-35, resolution approving amended township permanent appropriations for fiscal year 2024.
Second.
Roll call, discussion? Roll call?
So there was just a few items that I had to amend, and it's just basically cleaning up. So it's things that we've approved in other resolutions or we've approved on the agenda in previous meetings. So I just have to do one more resolution because I have to send it to the auditor this month.
Okay.
So I needed a clean resolution.
All right.
Okay. Roll call?
Ms. Lees?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
I move approval of Resolution G 2024-36, resolution authorizing the Township Administrator to sign a contract with the Ohio Township Association Risk Management Authority, OTARMA, to purchase risk insurance for the amount of $73,174.17.
Second.
Roll, or discussion?
Yeah, Kim?
Yeah.
Are we getting a refund or rebate on previous years for this? Did this decrease the amount down to this number?
This is discounted, I believe, for $1,000-ish.
Okay. It's not the kind of thing we allow to build up and then use every 2 or 3 years, is it?
No,
We
let's
get it every
see.
year?
Yeah, it's OTARMA loyalty credit. It's a discount of $4,372.83.
Okay.
But we did get a 13.7% increase overall. Our last year's total was $64,355. So a lot of it is insurance has just increased a tremendous amount, and we have a lot of events this year for things that we don't normally do, so that contributed to it.
I can agree that insurance rates are certainly going up.
Everything's gone up.
Okay.
So this does cover all of our events? That's good
Yes,
to know.
because I included everything.
Okay.
Even though we're requiring the contractors to have their own insurance, we still have to carry additional insurance for those items.
Right. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, roll call?
Ms. Lees?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
I move approval of Resolution G 2024-38, resolution to
37.
initiate changes to amend Section 96.30 residential use regulation and Section 98.4-2 intensity of use of Symmes Township zoning resolution and dispensing with the second agreement. Second reading, I'm sorry.
I'll second it.
Discussion? None?
Kim, can you tell us a little more about this?
So just for, I need you to go back and do 37 when you're
Yeah,
done
we'll
with
do
this
Did I
one.
miss these?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So for 38, this is, I think we talked about this a little bit at the last meeting, and Ms. Lees wanted me to put this on the agenda, but basically it would be to initiate a text change so it eliminates apartments from the office district.
Do we
Going
want-
forward,
Yes, everything that's there now is grandfathered.
okay, and there's what, is there 30 days after this is initiated before it takes effect, Jeff?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, all this, well, yes, but also all this does is initiate the whole process for a text amendment. So it still has to go through zoning
Okay,
commission
gotcha,
and then back here.
Okay.
The reason why,
So this is the initiate, got it.
Yeah.
Keyword.
the reason why I wanted this on, because I just think there's so much more that could be back there than just apartment buildings. I think it would be nice to be, could be like a little event center, you know, you could have some breweries back there. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do. And I think right now, everybody's on the bandwagon to jump and buy apartments. But I don't think the apartments are going to be sustainable over the long term. So I kind of would like other things, other ideas, other than just apartments back there.
I think we really need our land use plan, if you will, to be modified as part of the overall master plan, almost like a planned community, but we're dealing with something that already exists, so. Well, keyword here is initiate, and I'm interested in going forward with this. I'm not sure how far we go and what we do, but to start it and discuss it, I think is very worthwhile.
Yeah. and
So this, I'm sorry,
Go
go ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead.
So this area, we're talking about Governor's Hill, which is a final development plan. So
Well-
do the uses that you're envisioning, do they fit with what's exists?
I
The
talked to
final
Kim
development plan?
about, how do we have to set that up?
Well, I suggested that maybe we do an overlay district, and you could create an overlay district based on the uses that you just mentioned. And you could put parameters on it, you can say, you know, it's gotta be this much open space, it's gotta be this much, you know, this much apartments with this much retail, with this much office, like you can specify all those mix of uses. But all it would be is you leave the zoning the way it is, but then you just kind of put like a little net over top of it. And it has all those things that you want to do in it.
So we have,
Motel, restaurant,
Right.
retail.
so right now we have two big apartment buildings going in, right? And then we have US Savings Bank, and then, is it still World Pay? Is it called World Pay? So we have like a base there, but I think it could be really nice to develop around it. And I think if we allow it just to all become apartment buildings, we're gonna lose some aesthetics to the township. I mean, that could be a really cool place, like a really cool place.
Plus potentially overloading school districts.
Oh, that's a big one.
So
A lot
To
of
be-
thought has to be given to
to
it.
be
Right.
devil's advocate, so what if a developer wants to redevelop a building, but in order to make it work, they have to have a certain percentage of residential, and they're gonna want apartments. But they'll have other mixed uses in there. They might have a brew pub, like you say, or they might have other retail. You know, they could have all kinds of different things, but would this eliminate that option?
I don't think this does anything other than initiate looking at changes to what we have.
But if we're targeting apartment specific,
Yeah,
Well-
it would. I mean, just so we're clear, what this is initiating is a proposed amendment to the zoning resolution, which would remove apartments from, as a permitted use in the O district.
So if we would go forward this and a developer came in and he wanted to put breweries and everything, but he wanted to have some apartments, he could go in front of the zone.
I think what Brian would tell you from Hamilton County zoning is that no, because you can't do, you're talking about asking for variance.
Right.
But you can't have a variance for a use that's not permitted. That's called a use variance, and we typically, those aren't permitted. And again, remember, all this, that's how it's drafted. You initiate it, it will go to zoning committee, well, actually, it will go to regional planning. They'll make a recommendation, zoning commission will hear it, they'll make a recommendation, then it will come back here, and it's always, the trustees always have the final say on what amendments might or might not get approved as part of the code.
I mean, I applaud the thought, because it's being redeveloped piecemeal,
Right. And I'm
without
not
some
against
thought
it.
to
Yes.
the umbrella. And that was even discussed at the
Master
zoning,
plan.
that was discussed at the zoning commission. In fact, Jeff brought that up. I remember. I watched the meeting on the tape.
Yeah.
And it's an excellent point. I just wonder, is it worth, I need to think through how would we do that properly, and who would we want at the table to have that discussion? I would think we'd want the building owners, for one thing, at the table, and a representative from WorldPay, or a representative from,
US Savings Bank.
yeah, or Ackerman, and just getting all those players at the table.
Stakeholders.
Right, thank you. That's a good
So,
word.
I'm just trying to buy us time. Do you know what I'm saying? So we can get organized to maybe figure that out.
Right, I don't think there's anything else on the horizon that we know of.
But who knows?
Hmm?
So, I just am throwing it out because I see in my head what could be there and what's going there. And I just think we're wasting our space. I mean, I think it could be really cool. It could be a really fun area in the township, and we don't have anything like that in the township.
I'm thinking of other places
Right, Jeff?
that really have a lot of apartments and a lot of features there. The old
Liberty Town Center is like one of
Look at
them.
Old Montgomery, look at,
Yeah.
all those new restaurants and everything.
Yeah, I'm looking at the bicycle card factory and so on, and there's places down in Oakley and Norwood and so on with
Factory 52.
element type.
Yeah.
You know, we have 6 or 8 small pop-up restaurants or whatever in there that service the people that live there. Could be in that category too.
Yeah, so I just throwing it out there.
That would be cool to have that.
Oh, that area.
So should we start with scheduling a meeting with the stakeholders? Getting their input,
I
their
just put it
feedback?
out here just to
Jeff, what's the
bring up the
process
discussion
there?
again.
Do we have a representative, or do we have a special meeting that the trustees all meet with, like the stakeholders? Or is it one representative, like our administrator, or our board president, or what?
I would suggest that it not be just the board president. I think the board is certainly able to have a special meeting where you just want to have, you could call it a work session, you can call it whatever you want for public input. It would be a public meeting.
Yes.
And that may be,
As long as we have more than one trustee there, it has to be a public meeting.
All right.
yes, but that may be the most appropriate way so that the entire board can hear what
Okay.
What
So
that public input
Work
is.
session, the public can attend but not speak.
A work session is nothing more than a special meeting of the Board of Trustees, and it can be whatever you determine that you want that meeting to be. If you want to schedule a special meeting that's for the purpose of getting public input or hearing from stakeholders, that's just how you announce the public meeting, and that's what would happen.
Okay, good, thank you.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Fine with me. I just wanted to get the discussion rolling.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you did. Do we want to,
Table
Kim
this, or
could, well,
pass
I was
this
thinking, Kim,
resolution?
could you help us reach out to the stakeholders to corral
Sure.
them and get some, 3 or 4 date time options?
Okay, so.
But
Roll
you'll
call.
still, yeah, I was just going to say,
Yeah.
you'll still need to, it's up to the board, you'll still need to take a vote on the resolution that's in front of you.
So we're not going through the resolution?
Well,
Because we're gonna do
that was
the
my
meeting.
question. We do the prep work and then table the resolution, or pass the resolution and then do the groundwork?
I would just be fearful that if we take this arrow out of the developer's quiver, that we might lose interest. I understand where you're coming from, because we don't want
I don't want
100% apartments,
all-
100% apartments,
Yeah, I don't want
100%
apartments
apartments.
and apartments and more apartments back
Right.
there.
Right. I know enough to be dangerous. I know developers like to have options. They like to do these mixed-use combinations.
Yeah, but I also know developers just like to come in, slap up stuff and then make their money and then leave and not invest in the township, and that's what I'm trying to prevent.
Mhm. We could table this or
Okay.
vote on it.
Yeah, right now you can vote yes, and that would initiate the changes as presented. You could vote no, and that would stop the process, or you can table it to a future meeting. And if you get feedback from the public, that you may want to amend this resolution to initiate something different than what is being proposed here.
And I move to table Resolution G 2024-38.
And if I could
Second.
make a suggestion to that, that what you may, and again, it's totally up to you. What you may want to do is just table it to a date uncertain, because typically if you table something, it would come right back up at the next meeting. And
Okay.
unless you think you'll be ready to take action at the next meeting, you may want to.
We'll just table it, yeah, for future.
Yeah.
Okay.
That way it's on.
All right, I revise my motion. I move to table resolution G 2024-38 to a future date undetermined.
I'll second. And then roll call?
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Ms. Lees?
Aye.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
Okay, I move approval of Resolution G 2024-37, resolution authorizing the Township Administrator to sign a contract with Rossi to purchase fireworks to the bicentennial blast.
In the amount
Oh, 25,000, sorry.
of, okay. All right. I'll second it. Sorry.
Discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Lees?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
I move approval of Resolution G 2024-39, resolution authorizing the Township Administrator to sign a 3-year agreement with Rumpke for trash recycling and restroom services.
Second.
Discussion? Did it go up?
Yes.
Ugh. How much?
Let's see, 39. so it
3-year
went up.
agreement, so they're going to freeze it for 3 years. Probably, we just ran out.
22% it went up.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. But you have to remember, we entered into this contract in 2021, so it was frozen for 21, 22, and 23. So in 24, it will be a 22% increase from what we had been paying for 3 years.
Well, we have to have it.
Not much competition there, is there?
Nope, there's not. Okay, roll call?
Ms. Lees?
Aye.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Reluctantly, aye.
I move approval of the following expenditures and authorizing for the Township Administrator to sign any necessary contracts, agreements, or paperwork. Expenditure then and now, $8,585 for LJB engineering costs for fence/sign redesign on Hopewell Bridge overpass. B, expenditure $9,160 to KOI precast concrete for storm drain lids, 15. C, expenditures then and now, and for $5,137 for Vogel Pool fire equipment for a Rice hydro hose tester. And D, expenditure $11,110.71 for D&B fleet maintenance to repair the turbo and Medic 61.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Wait a minute.
That was too fast.
Um,
That was too fast.
Item C, does this mean that their fire department is now going to be able to do their own hose testing?
That's the way I read it.
Yeah. And they can certify whatever they need to do out of this?
That I can't answer.
Okay. Well, I know that we signed checks during the year for hose testing and so on for our fire department. Okay. Well, I'm all for it if down the road it saves us money, so. I just asked the question.
Kim, on item A, does that sign on the overpass, is that, I think we saw some designs a month or so ago. It had like a white oval
Yep,
Yeah.
behind the logo, so,
Yeah,
so
this
it
is-
pops.
yep.
Okay,
This is to pay for that change, to put something behind.
okay.
Yeah, they had to do a complete engineering redesign because of the oval on the fence. They had to put up extra beams on the fence. And they had to resubmit, they had to do a bunch of engineering and a bunch of calculations for that, so that's why it was so expensive.
Wind loads.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, roll call?
Ms. Lees?
Aye.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
All right.
I move to go into executive session, ORC Section 21, I think 121.22 G1, to consider the compensation and employment of a public employee or official.
Second.
Roll call?
Ms. Lees?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
Have a
Will
good
there
night,
be-
everybody.
Will there be action after?
There'll be no action.
No action.